Okay, welcome back. So we are now filming another video, and this one is going to be on something that Chris Cadillo talked about and actually showed on Facebook, on our Facebook page, which you'll see in the title credits on this video. And he got some samples of some foam, some signboard foam stuff. And we've actually had some samples for about a month sitting around. I just hadn't got around to playing around with them, but I did this morning. So this is called HDU. This is, what is that? High Density Urethane.
High Density Urethane.
High Density Urethane. Thank you for that, Dad. I appreciate that. So what I did was this sample pack that we got 3 different ones. We got a 10, a 15, and an 18. The 10 is the softest of the 3, and then there's a 15, which is in between, and then the 18 is the dense.
Those numbers have to do with the density of the board, right?
Yeah, the weight and the density of the foam. So I carved a couple of them. I carved the really light. This is the 10 weight, and it's pretty soft. It's all pretty soft, but this is much softer than the heavy one. This is the 18, and this is the 10. The 15 I didn't do because it's right in between. And I like the way this stuff carves. The one real trick with this is you better have good control of your router, because it carves, it literally routes like there's nothing there, like you're routing air. So you better have really good control, and there's another reason to use the little small router that I like, that little DeWalt with that little Porter cable, because you really need to have good control of your router when you're carving this stuff. This especially, the lightweight. The heavyweight, it has a little bit more resistance to it, and like Chris mentioned on his Facebook post, it has a little grainy feel to it, almost like a little sand, a little grit to it. This one I liked a little bit better for several different reasons. Number one, this I actually sanded off, even though Chris said don't touch it with a belt sander. I actually sanded this off with a belt sander, but it wasn't my hand belt sander. This was our stationary big 48-inch belt, and I had a real light touch on it, and it took it down. But even at that, it sanded off more than I would have liked. And beside the fact that this stuff, even a fingernail or a, pressing on it will make a dent in this stuff. I would suggest if I had to do it over again, I would just use the dense, the 18. Yeah, the 18. That's what I would use. Now this one, incidentally, I actually sanded this with my little palm sander, my little palm vibrator sander, and it worked great. It worked really, really well. So this is the one if you have a choice on density. Now, why are we talking about this? Why does this mean anything to you? There may be instances that you want to do a routed sign, that you don't want to laminate boards and go through all the hassle of doing big wood signs, but this stuff is like good for 150 years. It doesn't warp, it doesn't crack, it doesn't split, it doesn't it's impervious to water. I mean, it literally will last a lifetime. So I don't know how expensive it is. You got to go out there and find it. This particular manufacturer is different than the one Chris talked about on Facebook. This is signfoam.com. We wrote it down here. Here's a book. We got these in the mail as samples so we could play with them. I think it was like 11 bucks shipping. The samples were free, but they charged us to ship them. So this is a book that comes with it. It's got all kinds of neat information. You can route it. You can drill it. You can sand it. I think for you scroll saw people, I'm pretty sure you could scroll saw this stuff. I'm really sure of that. Haven't tried that yet. So signfoam.com. Can you get that, Dad? No?
No.
You can't bring it in? So it's Signfoam, signfoam.com. Okay? And again, this is the 3 different samples that they sent us. But if for my choice, I'd go with the 18 because it's denser. It doesn't sand quite as fast. I think it just looks a little better, and it's a little easier to route because there's some resistance there. Whereas this stuff, man, you really got to have control if you do this stuff.
You want to mention the thicknesses available?
Yeah, I really don't know. What are the thicknesses?
From 1/2 inch to 3 inch.
A 1/2 inch to 3 inch. There you go. Dad actually ordered these samples, and they've been sitting over in a box for about a month, and I've been meaning to get to them. But then seeing Chris's post on Facebook this morning, I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and get it done so we can share this with you guys. Again, I don't know how expensive this stuff is. I'm assuming it is expensive, but it probably will be worth it if you're making a big sign and you don't have any laminations, especially if you're going to paint the whole thing. Now this, again, Chris talked about that on Facebook. This is ink, by the way. This is our Marsh stencil ink. The ink doesn't touch this stuff. It's sprayed real good. It's sanded off real good. So you can use it just the way it is here, but then you can also just paint it like what Chris was talking about on his Facebook post. So go on Facebook and check that out, because it's a really nice little picture that Chris talked about and posted on Facebook. So what am I forgetting, Dad?
Well, you might, if that's the end of this video, you might mention the monetization.
Oh yeah,
the commercials that are on our videos.
Yeah, that's right. You'll notice on some of our or on all of our videos, at the beginning or in the middle or maybe at the end. When we can do it, we want to put the commercials at the end. But those are videos that if you actually just watch that video for a minute or so, Google actually sends us a few cents for doing that. If you watch video number 63 that we posted, I think this is going to be 64. So 63, we talk about that. Dad and I kind of go into that for a few minutes, what that monetization is all about. But basically, if you watch a commercial during one of our videos, they actually send us a few pennies for you doing that. So if you feel like there's a value there and you know, want to buy us a fishing lure once in a while, we'd appreciate it. Oh yeah, on the beginning title is our Facebook page and our website. So you can go check those out. Contact us if you have any questions. Let us know. Also, subscribe to our videos if you haven't yet. Subscribe to our videos, and you'll get notification when we post a new one. Okay, that's it. We'll see you down the road.